Good morning, students. In today's class, we will talk about who are the users who will be using the business intelligence or business intelligence applications or the solutions that are designed from business intelligence. So the concept is very easy. Basically, the broad category, like if you talk about overall, the BI users will be divided into just two categories. One is the casual users and another are the power users. So what is the difference between casual users and power users? One person or say one set of users are the people who will just consume the information, and the other set is one who has an active role, who is a part of producing the information. So let us understand what are casual users. So these people are those who are just going to have consumption of that information, or they are going to consume the information that is already existing. So they will not do any hard work to generate the data. They are not going to help us to generate the information. But whatever data is already existing within the organizations, that is going to be used, and whoever, any set of people who will use it, the data, or who will consume the data for any purpose as it is, maybe the purposes would be, say, they want to take their decisions, they have a task is given, a project is given, and based on whatever existing data is there, they need to take a decision, they need to take an action. So those people will be called as casual users. They are they do not actively participate when it comes to report generating, because if you talk about report generating, data is needed here, but the production of data for report generation is important. Report generation for any purpose of the organization, even a simple presentation if you talk about, wherein you have to give your weekly or monthly reports, how the project is going on, how the process is being carried out. So that task will not be done by these casual users. Okay. So one thing is, if they are a part of the report generations, or they are the part of the dashboards, you know how dashboards work, wherein all the data is presented. So these are just going to be passive workers there. They will just be consuming the data. They're not going to give any inputs for that. The next thing we have are the power users. So who are, what are these power users, or who are the power users? These basically help in production of data, help in production of or generation of new data. So generation of information. So why do they generate the new data? One thing is, for it could be for their own needs. They have the task of report generation or producing the report. Another thing would be for companies' benefits, okay, or for just satisfying their own role in the company there. So if a person, like for example, developer, or say the analytics, or the analyst, or the administrator, so these are the people who are trying to generate information, new information every time. And why will the developer try to generate new information? One is to satisfy his own code there, or to satisfy the own project. So the decision that is coming now is to his own need. So such people are called as power users, and these are the people who are basically going to decide what data should be put upon dashboards, or what information should be presented in the report. So the and who can access such kind of information, and which is the best way in which this information could be presented, whether we need to just give it as the report to be presented as a presentation, or there should be a document, or we should go to present the report in terms of a dashboards. So all these decisions will be done by power users. And you can say that these are the just top broad two categories. Okay. So if we talk about the access level for these two set of users, power users definitely have more authority when compared to casual users. Then after the users, now what we are going to, the next part, what we are going to understand is what are the different business applications, okay, business intelligence applications or business intelligence solutions that we are using. So we have studied this first one, that is the technology solutions, DSS, which is decision support system. EIS, we have OLAP, managed query and reporting, and data mining. So we have already covered this. Let us once again have a look at them in brief. And this is the business solutions. So this we will cover in detail once we are done with the technology solutions. Okay, let us quickly start with the first one, that is DSS. So DSS, we know it stands for Decision Support System. So at what all levels a decision can be taken? If you have a look overall at the business, any kind of a business which is running, okay, so decision will be needed at all departments and all the branches and at each level, because operations day-to-day processing is taking place. So even if you just say that we have a company which is trying to produce mobile phones, right from the production unit up till the supplier, management, then who the people who are the investors or the sponsors, every people there will be having certain things that they have to take decision for. So basically, when we talk about a DSS, it is one thing wherein it will help you to take decisions made at operational and tactical levels. So we have seen the pyramid there, which talks about operational level, tactical levels, and how each of the decisions impact and who are the people who make the decisions at operational and tactical levels. Then we have EIS, which stands for Executive Information System. So again, where decision is taken at the management level here, again this is a part of that pyramid. If you can recall, I had showed you a pyramid. Then we have the third one, that is OLAP. We have studied in detail what are OLAP systems, which basically help for analyzing of the data. And when we talk about analyzing, it means that we are able to make decisions and the right decisions at the right time. So these are OLAP systems. Then we have managed query and reporting. So this basically talks about running the queries. If you talk about running the queries for OLAP systems, one thing is when we say query, the first thing that should come to the mind is OLTP systems. But relating it to BI, we know that decision making happens because of analysis. So how can you manage the queries when you talk about technological solutions related to BI applications? So the important thing here is the decisions are based on analysis. Analysis are basically put up on the reports, or say they are presented in terms of the dashboards. Also, you have seen various other uh, uh, presentations that were given by your classmates, and wherein each sector that they explained somehow was helping to make a decision. So when we talk about managed query and reporting, basically you have certain softwares which will help you to, you just provide the data and the reports are generated. Like we saw the cube there, wherein you have three-dimensional data presented in where in a different way, which could be treated as a report. So this is what is managed query and reporting. Another thing that you are learning these days, I'm not sure whether that training has started, but Salesforce. So that will also be a part of managed query and reporting. If you, when once the training starts, you will be more aware as to how interactive that particular technology is and how reports can be generated from that. Then next, last one we have is data mining. So data mining is basically talking about the big data, all of the data that we talk, structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. So all this data is existing, which is called as big data. So now the important thing is to take or extract only that part of the data which is necessary for our analysis. So sometimes when we talk about data mining, the very easiest example here would be like you have done shopping on Flipkart or Amazon. So basically how data mining works there, they are trying to understand the patterns of the customers who are purchasing the products. So most of the times you see that if you try to you say you have ordered for a mobile phone, at the bottom you will get to see the suggestions there. The person who bought this mobile phone also bought headphones. Then another suggestion would be the person who bought this mobile has also placed an order for that screen guard. So they are just trying to study the patterns of the customers there, based on what customers order and how many people who have ordered mobile phone have also opted for the other products. So that is how suggestions are given. That is called as data mining. So this is how the BI technology has been used in these different categories. Then we come to the next part, that is business solutions. So these solutions have been mentioned earlier here. We have seen this is the same thing. These are the same business solutions. Okay. So the first one that we have here, few of them, I mean the order just is changed here. So the first one that we have would be the customer analytics. So when you talk about customer analytics, okay, why this is important is because customer is the person who will help you to increase your sales. So whether it is a product based company or a service based company, the role of the customer is equally important. So here predicting and understanding the customer's buying pattern is important. So the data, basically the analytics will help to capture the data that is related to that customer and how his behavior is. The same thing that we spoke, that was for data mining. So with that technology, these solutions have come up. Okay, so this thing is when you try to understand the customer's behavior there, directly it is impacting the decision making of that particular product or the decision making for that product in that company. So basically you can say that it is impacting the marketing. It will help you to improve your relationships with the customer if you carry out this customer analysis. This is one of the applications or the solutions where BI is applied. Then we have marketplace analysis. So when we talk about customer, the next important thing that comes is marketplace, because we need to understand what product we are selling and at which locality we are selling. So talking about the marketplace, again, understanding customers at that marketplace, then the competitors, the products, and how the market is changing in that area, all these are important. So one thing is whether you need to decide first whether your business is online or whether it is an offline kind of a business. So if it is online, then marketplace would just be in terms of how you are able to reach your customers potentially and how that particular customer is turning into an actual buyer for you. Okay, because you see now Flipkart or Amazon, if you talk about the competition between these two, how are they able to reach their customers? You can see their advertisements, right? On YouTube, you can see their advertisements on Instagram, on Facebook. So every social media platform, they're trying to reach out to the customer with different offers, even television advertisements. So they have so many ways in which they are able to analyze the marketplace because it is an online platform. It is not something offline wherein they can, uh, appeal the customers or you can say by speaking. If you ever talk about launching a product, okay, say that you are planning to open a what to say clothing store, for women especially only in Belgium. Okay, so you have a business and you want to start with trying to open a business of trying to sell clothes for women. So how are you going to analyze if you want to start this business in Belgium? Give me some inputs. Which would be the area that you would want to place it? Yes, students, give me some inputs. Assume you people have planned for a business, you want to open your own cloth store, and where would you try to open it? Where would the competition be less? Where would you have, where would you feel that you will attract more customers?
Any place where more people come and go frequently. That would be a better place.
Better place. Okay. So if I have to say, then have you been to Maruti Galli? You can see there so many shops are open, right?
Yeah.
Every alternate shop sells the same kind of a clothing there. But again, when you talk about the marketplace, that is competition is there, but still all of them are able to have a better market there because that is the place wherein customers will always be there. Otherwise, there are various ways in which you can analyze. There are even malls which are existing in Belgaum, right? So the difference is first online and offline. You need to understand these things if you're talking about marketplace analysis. Then once that part is done, if it is whether it is online or offline, You will then be in a position to decide which product has to be launched in which region. If you talk about digital what you say, electronical items, digital items, online sale. Have you seen that this Redmi MI phones did initially when that they tried to sell it out? It was only purely online. Offline booking was not there anywhere, right? So that, and that too at that particular day they would give that advertisement that today we are trying to sell it and this is going to be the timing when you can try to book a slot. So that is how it works, marketplacing. They have captured that online, they had captured that online slot at that particular, and there would be so much of rush to have a booking, you would not get the booking. So online or offline is important, but after that, which product has to be launched in which particular area? Are the consumers really in that particular marketplace? Are they really going to consume? Because we have discussed these examples before also. If you talk about opening a McDonald's chain somewhere in a very village remote, okay, people will not come there, right? So such analysis is important. Then only a product is going to, the sale of that product is going to increase. The next one we have performance analysis. So performance, what is performance analysis? This is talking about your employees. Whenever you run a business or you have organization, the important thing here is given any company organization will try to utilize the talent or the skills of that employee to its optimum, okay, for the benefits of the company, and the employees are paid for it. Now, one thing is you have to carry out the performance analysis of the employees. What is performance analysis? Trying to understand how the employees are doing, how is their performance. Like we take, if we talk about performance analysis of the students, we take your exams and based on the marks, the criteria is marks. Based on that, we are trying to analyze how the students are performing. So likewise, even for the employees, you have to do performance analysis. So why this has to be done? So that you get to know which employees are good at which skills and in which particular project can you place them, what kind of a skill or what kind of a technology they are good at. Then whether you really want to retain some employees or whether those employees can be they can improve by giving certain training to them, or if the employees are exceptionally well, then you can decide to motivate them by giving them certain rewards. So this performance analysis for the employees will help you to have a clear picture of your business, how the business is performing. Next, we have behavior analysis. So this is again similar to your customer analytics, okay, wherein we talk about trying to predict the trends. So trying to understand in behavior analysis, it is about digital customers. Mainly it talks about the digital customers. So what are their purchasing patterns and online buying. So at what point of time that particular online market is at a peak. So you see that Amazon or Flipkarts have those big billion days during Diwali, the New Year sales. At that point, they target the market because at that point of time, most of the companies will have they give bonus as a reward for the employees. Also, since it is a festive time, there are a lot of purchases traditionally talking about, okay, this is a festival, and the mentality of the people that festival means you get new clothes, you buy certain new products because of the discounts that are given. So that is the best time to have the target audience. So this is how the behavior analysis works for online businesses or online customers or digital customers. Next, we have supply chain analytics or supply chain analysis. So this is about trying to maximize your sale, optimize your sale. So right, how the supply chain would work, right? That is right from planning. Okay, it starts from planning, then having those raw materials, getting the raw materials, trying to manufacture them, and then trying to sell it, trying to make a complete product and then sell it. So again, when you talk about a supply chain, you need to understand what are the problems. You need to understand what could be the problems. There could be problems in getting the raw material or having less manufacturing units. If you are into trying to manufacture something from the raw product, then inventory would be a problem. If you are trying to source it out, that again would be a problem. So these are the various things that talks about supply chain analysis. Then we have productivity analysis, which is talking about how much output is produced as to the given input. That is basically talks about the ratio. if you have, the number of input or the number of efforts that you have put in, is the production or is the output also equivalent to that? So that is what is productivity analysis. Now productivity, if you say as a broader term, basically it will have lot many components, or it is affected by lot many factors, such as you can say workforce efficiency, that is how people or the employees are working in that particular environment. Then what is the product quality? Then what are the resources available? Even external factors could influence. Like for example, okay, we will again come to the digital marketing or the digital items. So, you know that now how the company Nokia has fallen down, had fallen down, I would say rather, with the when Android came into the market. So then there are various external. This is an external factor that Nokia company got affected with. That market was actually trending on Android, but they were still into their old operating system. So, how the productivity got affected here? If they would have done a proper analysis of their external environments, then the productivity would have increased there. But the productivity went down due to lack of this kind of an understanding. So similarly, suppose you produce a mobile phone, the quality again of that particular mobile is important. We had so many brands, some which were launched, like you had Zolo, which was an Indian made company, and various other XYZ companies we had, some China made. But all these companies, they were not long lasting in the market. So what was the reason? Be it production from India or China or any other country, right? So what, as a customer, what we are going to have a look at, how is the quality of that? So, and that is how when the customer will invest. So if the quality is not good, again the productivity for that company goes down, because the customer will not think of purchasing it. Then we have last one, sales channel analysis. So this is trying to improve your sales, or rather than saying improve your sales, trying to reach out in the market, actual impact in the market. How much do you reach? Not potentially, but converting that potential thing into an actual implementation. So any good, you can say that any good company or any good organization would consider four things. What are the four things? It talks about product, price, place, and promotion. So there are four P's. Okay, product, price, place, and promotion. So any enterprise or any organization is going to consider these four things. So first it will decide whether what product is to be produced, or what service. If it is a service based company, then what service is to offer to the customer. Because if they are trying with the business, whether it is a product or a sales, they are definitely not planning it just for say 1 or 2 years. They want to evolve with time, and they want to sustain in the market for the upcoming n number of years, be it 100 or 1,000 years in the market. So whenever a company or organization enterprise talks about products or services, they will think of such a kind of a product or a service wherein the customers will always be wanting it. That kind of a product or a service will never go down. Then the thing is pricing. So how do you decide the pricing for that? Whether that's totally now up to the kind of a service or a product you give. And the next price talking here is whether we should increase or decrease the price for our sales to increase. Okay. Always, like there could be assumptions like whenever the sales of a product or a service is decreased, the sales can increase. But that is not actually true, because customers will view it as if the sales are going down. It means maybe the quality also has decreased, or they are not giving the kind of service they would give before. So even this particular way of analyzing will happen. Then we have third one, that is place. Okay. So you need to decide whether you want to put your particular product or a service online, or whether you want to go for an offline. So that again depends on what kind of a business you have. And the last one, promotion. So these days there is no need to tell for promotion or to talk on promotion. So when we talk about promotion, it could be again advertisement, digital marketing platforms, or conducting physical promotion shows, or where the customers are attracted. Like you can see when a new bike or a new SIM card is launched, how there are small shops put up wherein they try to attract the customers. They have a bike which is kept, they'll give you the free test drive. Then for the same, they have various promotional offers, right? So these are the various ways in which you can decide to go for promoting your particular enterprise, organization, or a business, whether online or offline. So this is about business solutions. So any doubts you have, you can ask, and in the meanwhile also drop your attendance. I have a message in the chat box from Rutik. So there are some places which are known for a particular market. Yes, yes. I guess this is regarding the marketplace that we were having discussion with.